Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to a little bit of a speed build. We're actually doing Simsie's new shell challenge. So here's a quick look at the shell she created. And we're going to take this and turn it into hopefully something pretty cool. I basically placed it in, I placed it in Brindleton Bay, and then I kind of got an idea of what I wanted to do with some platforms instead of steps. That's how I got started, and then I left the rest to figure out on the spot. I didn't have any inspiration pictures or anything. I just kind of went with it, and the roofing took me a long time, a lot longer than I'd like to admit, but I did cut out most of it because it was just me pulling pieces off, putting them back on, and redoing it, kind of how you see me doing here. But it was a struggle. I kind of like the idea of a rounded roof piece over here, like a hexagonal or pentagonal roof. I didn't know what shape I wanted to go for, but I knew I wanted to be something like that with a turret. So here's kind of the idea that I had, and I do mess around with it just a little bit more. But first I had to add the flooring underneath so that I could add a wall trim to the first floor. There's only one floor, so to the main floor of the home. Again, that took me a while, and I realized some things wouldn't work, so I had to fix the roof again. I used an interesting color for the roof trim. I wanted it to be an eccentrically colored home. I guess it's more just fun. It's just fun, and I don't know why, but I got the feeling this would be a great cat lady house, and that's why I put it in Brindleton Bay. I think it's the Sporting Space lot, in case you were wondering, and it is a very large lot for such a small home, but I figure it blends in well with the world, gives a nice backyard, so I really liked it. And here I decided to cover up this little imperfection in the roof piece with a chimney, and I believe I messed around with it in Tool a whole bunch before I realized that I didn't really have to. I just put up a very tall half wall and then raised it up with the 0 and 9 keys, and that's how that went. And I liked how the green roof trim peeked out from the side of the chimney, so I shortened the roof on the other side so it would mirror the same idea, so it kind of goes all around the chimney and you can still see the green trim. I really like that. And I used the brown shingle, which I never use. This was all stuff I was trying to say, what don't I use on a regular basis? You get in a little bit of a rut when you're building a lot, and I didn't want to use the same thing again. So I was trying out a bunch of different things, and this took me a very long time, and I cut it down a lot. But I think that it came together pretty nice. I was trying to do a decent job with the shell. If you're unfamiliar with shell challenges, basically anyone can create a shell challenge. You don't have to have a YouTube page or, Facebook page, anything. Just create a shell, and you can upload it to the gallery, and you come up with rules. The standard rules are usually don't touch the walls. You have to leave the existing walls the way they are. You can't add new rooms off of the walls. You can only add interior walls. And then whatever you want to add can't add another room, essentially. So platforms are fine, foundations are fine, steps are fine, but you can't add another room. So that's what I did. I just added platforms. I didn't want it on a foundation per se, because I kind of liked it just being on the ground level. And here's the shape finally coming together here. I used the windows in that little triangle piece there are from Strangerville. I like how they're triangular and slightly rounded. I thought that fit the creative nature of this home and that triangle shape with the turret. I just thought they worked really well. I used a lot of Strangerville windows. I think they're all Strangerville on this build, which is interesting. And then that little spire on top of the turret is a little, I forget what you call it, a weather thing? I forget. But it is from the Cats and Dogs pack. And here I'm, for some reason, not changing it to daylight. I guess I was feeling I was in a dark a darker state of mind. I didn't feel like brightening it up, so I left it dark. But I was doing the floor on the front patio area. Now I do end up changing the platform later. I think I show that because it was cutting into the house a little bit, just because it's a slightly rounded platform. It was creating weird angles cutting into the interior, and that was not something I wanted. It was not something I could easily cover up and make it work. So that's okay though. I think I like the way it turns out in the end. So here's the little front porch, just a little bench. And that is just base game, I believe. Same with the front porch light, which I sized down twice because it is just insanely too big. That plant is from Jungle Adventure. This little hanging plant is from Get Together. I like that one. I use that a lot. And then here is a wreath, I think from Seasons. I thought it was really pretty and just fit the very colorful, fun nature of the house. We've sized down some more of these lights all around. I think there's one on the side of the building too, but I don't think I add that till later on. But I really like that. And here I added a toy box for the kitties, because it's about this point that I decided it's a crazy cat lady house. But I think I end up moving that to the backyard. At first I was thinking it would be nice on the front patio, but I changed my mind on that. Here's more platforms going into the home, and I had a good idea with it, but I think because of the shape of the house, it just didn't leave a lot of room. It would have probably led to some routing issues. Same with this kitchen over here being such a strange shape, because I already knew I wanted that end to be the kitchen. I thought that it cut too much into the house. I actually left it as a open concept kind of studio feel, so it's like a living room slash bedroom slash kitchen. And there is no formal dining space except outside. Outside there will be a patio set, chair and tables. But right about here is where I decide, okay, well, here's the bathroom. It's the only room that's closed off in the whole house. And then I extend the platform and make a little entryway. But here first I placed the fireplace. I wanted it to be right where the chimney is on the outside of the house. I enjoy that realism. I try to do that as much as I can. If I add a fireplace, or if I add a chimney, I want to make sure I add a fireplace in a space where it makes sense, if you know what I mean, so that everything lines up. Here's more windows from Strangerville. Same with the front. I really like these windows. I use them as often as I can. It doesn't always fit the build I'm going for, but I thought they looked really nice on a smaller build, which I haven't done in a while. I haven't done anything this small in a pretty long time. I do tend to stick to smaller homes because when I play personally, I start with a small house and then I kind of build on it as the family that I have grows and as things evolve in the story, because Neighborhood Stories is great for that now. Oh man, in my current Let's Play, if you haven't tuned in, there have been some fun occurrences due to Neighborhood Stories. So I highly suggest you check that out. Just gonna plug myself real quick. And here's the kitchen. I think those are the Country Kitchen Kit counters. The fridge is from Cottage Living, as is the stove right there. And here, this is not the final color scheme per se. I was just playing around with it at first, and I did like that blue, so I tried to incorporate it in the rest of the kitchen. And I did want to add one more countertop so that your sim would have room to do the cooking interactions. They need at least one space to prep the food, and preferably another space to place the food or to have some clutter. So I try to give two island spaces, and here I am struggling with the cabinets. I eventually figured it out, but I cut out a lot of footage from that as well. It was a mess. I was having a really rough time. I had builder's block pretty bad, but we got through it. And I really wanted to use tile and a backsplash pattern, so I used this one, and I believe it's actually base game. Yes, that is base game. I like that. I forget when they added that, or if that's always been there, but I feel like that's relatively new in the last couple years, last 2 or 3 years. There's changing the platform siding to the rustic I think it's rustic river stone, if I recall correctly. And then I think I kept I kept the stone on the steps. And I was looking through more tiling for the floor in the kitchen, and I decided again on base game. Just kind of went with it. Now, don't worry, there's lots of packs in this. It isn't just base game, in case you couldn't tell already. But I did try to use as much base game as I could, because I like to give the base game opportunity to shine. They have added quite a few things in SDX drops and free updates, and I actually think that they're doing a pretty good job with that. I think that even if I were to just have base game, I have a lot of options now. I don't feel like I'm missing out. So that's nice. I really want them to do more. I think they need to update a bunch of swatches on a lot of things, but you know, we'll see. We still have plenty of life left in the game, so you know, let's hope they keep up with that. Now the living room / bedroom gave me a little bit of an issue. At first I didn't know if I wanted this to be the bedroom or if I would end up putting a sleeping bag down. I didn't know what I was doing. So I was just kind of playing around, and I did like the white painted floorboards at first, but I do change that later, you'll see, to a darker wood hardwood floor. But for now, it is all white. I think I just wanted to put something down instead of the standard concrete I was popping in. And there's a little fence. That isn't really a fence. It's more like a threshold in between the living room and the kitchen. I really like this couch from Paranormal, and I wanted to use it because I liked the color scheme. But I did take inspiration from it, and I used it for the paint on the wall. I do end up replacing it though, but that's okay. It gave me inspiration, and then it served its purpose, so that's good. Here's some slats I put up. Now the original slats you see here are from Eco Lifestyle, but I changed them to the city living ones because they don't snap to a wall. The Eco Lifestyle slats actually snap to a wall, and they gave me such a hard time placing, and I didn't think they were thick enough, so I changed them. And there they are, and I think they look really nice. Put a column on each side to kind of frame in the entryway, and I like to do that if I'm using two different wall panelings or wallpapers, because it gives a little like end piece instead of going straight from one wallpaper to another. And here's the couch replacement. Bye bye, other couch. You served us well. So I did the Murphy bed. I think it was really cute. So it's just the one with the couch. It doesn't have the end pieces on it. I thought that one looked too big. But I think it works really well. And I did play test it. It does fold out just fine. Your sim can sleep there and still route around it. It is a little tight, but they can get there. And they can scoop across the bed. So that's nice. This little console table thing is from the Nifty Knitting Pack, as is the front door. I believe it has a little bit of flowers on the front door, which I really like. So I wanted to use something else from the Nifty Knitting Pack, so that it wasn't just one item from there. I try not to use just one item from certain packs. If I'm going to use one thing, I try to use a bunch. That little cat succulent planter is from Cats and Dogs, and I believe so is the calendar. And this is the only window I was trying to place a curtain on. I didn't know if I wanted curtains in the whole house. I really liked this one, but I think in the end I opted for just the cat tree. So here's that cat tree. I think I changed the color. Yes, I do. Okay, so it is the... I know there's blue. Is it the pink and blue one? No, it's the white and duotone blue one. I thought that was really, really pretty. And again, very colorful. I was trying to keep it colorful, but also makes sense. I didn't want it to be too crazy. I wanted it to be appealing to the eye still. And here's some cat bowls inside. I also placed some outside. My thought was the sim has maybe 2 or 3 of her own cats, and then she leaves food and litter boxes outside for the neighborhood cats because she wants to give them somewhere to go so they're not just wandering and hungry and nowhere to sleep. That was my inspiration here. There's a cute little end table, and I finally was able to put that kitty cat light down. I think that's from My First Pet stuff. There's a lot of My First Pet stuff in here, and a lot of cats and dogs. Now the door, that I end up using here is from Moschino Stuff. And for this, I am guilty of what I just said I don't like doing, because I think that's the only item from Moschino Stuff I end up using in this home. But it's easily replaceable. There's a lot of patio doors you can choose from. I just really enjoyed the look of that one, all the little squares. And back here, I am doing the little back patio area. I just put out some sort of terrain paint and I think some bushes and some flowers at first. It does evolve and get a little bit bigger, and you'll see that very shortly. I was trying to fill up a decent amount of space on this lot, at least surrounding the home, but I figured the rest of the lot could be open because it's just so large. It gives the illusion of it just kind of blending into the whole world. It's not like the lot just suddenly stops and all the shrubs stop. You know, all the shrubs are kind of just around the house, and that's it. I think I had one tree also. I don't remember when I added it though. It's a little birch tree. It matches the rest of the houses, the rest of the trees in the world. I try to keep everything pretty consistent. But here's my little assortment of bushes. Most if not all of them are debug, because I was trying to not rack up the price too much. Here is our little kitty litter box corner over here. I think I put out 3, and I tried to vary the colors to make them all unique. I really like those. I don't use those in my gameplay because they're very annoying to clean. So if you play in this and you want to replace them with the automatic litter boxes or the one with the laser eyes that just evaporates the kitty duties, by all means. I just thought these looked a lot cuter. The one with the laser eyes is kind of scary. I tend to hide that one. But I do like the functionality of it in game, because when you have to clean a plain litter box that doesn't clean itself in game, it's almost every time the cat goes in there you have to clean it. It's terrible. It's too realistic for me. Here's a little scratching post I put outside, and you'll see I put some yarn balls inside as well, also from Nifty Knitting. So I thought that was cute. We can put some yarn balls inside for them to play with. I don't think I put a knitting basket, which is silly, but the table also has spools of wool and thread and stuff on it, so I figured that kind of made sense. I could have put a knitting basket, but I don't know if the Sim is really too much into knitting. I think she just keeps the yarn around for her kitty cat. And here's where I moved that toy box out back instead. I think I copied it at first and then ended up deleting the one in the front. It just didn't make sense to have 2. So 1 toy box is fine. And I did have my Sim go in there and put the rest of the toys away. And look at this cute little kitty cat mailbox. Had to put that here on the lot too. I don't remember if that's from Cats and Dogs or if it's from My First Pet stuff. I don't remember. Not 100% sure, so it's from one of those. It can only be from one of those. Here I am trying to figure out more plants because I wanted a little bit of a variety, but I couldn't figure out exactly what. And here I think I finally decided on these rose bushes from Cottage Living because they're a little more, I don't know, muted. They're not quite so crazy and bushy. Those big azaleas I like to use, but they cut into the house all the time, and then I have to move them around and it just bothers me. So I decided to go easy on myself. Now here's that tree that I added. I think I put it right about there. I did add another tree, but I ended up getting rid of that because it blocks a lot of light. And this pretty little tree, I think that's some kind of weeping cherry tree of some kind. It's really cute. And here's where I realized that my columns were all messed up from moving the lot forward. So I had to replace the columns and then put the bottom foundation piece back, and my interior columns also jumped up, which is very annoying. Platforms in this game can sometimes give us a hard time, but it was a pretty quick fix. And that's where we are so far. And I decided to start working on the back. So here's where I expand the patio quite a bit, and I change up the rocks too. because I decided I wanted more of a pebble look to it. And just throwing down more terrain paint and smoothing out some of the harshness in the edges. I use the eraser tool and also some other shades of dirt, and I think I use some kind of like a light sandy color as well to kind of blend in, because around the world you'll see there's some light sandy colored dirt or terrain paint to blend in with the walking paths. So I wanted to kind of keep it cohesive and make it match the rest of the world, you know what I mean? I did add some bushes and flowering plants here in the front as well. But first, I wanted to make a cute little kitty area out here. So here's in the sunlight, I put a pergola down instead of those bushes I originally had there. I think it opened it up a lot. It was very, very nice. Let all the sun in, but there's still some shade. I know that, you know, if you have cats, you'll know they love laying in the sun, but also if it gets too hot, they prefer a shady spot to hang out. So I thought it made sense. I know, it's just a game, but it made sense to me, and I hope you feel the same. So here's also some cat beds, because we need some kitty beds. I am going with the theory that these are weatherproof cat beds because they are outside. Maybe they're easily cleaned, just hose them off really quick and then you hang them out in the sun. So here's some little sleeping areas, and then I put down some pet bowls and this little trellis. That trellis is from high school years, and I really liked it. I thought that it brought in, some of the white trim on the house and also the crown molding in the house. So I wanted to bring in some more white outside and also some more greenery because we love plants. Here's another little hanging plant, speaking of which, in the kitchen. I did size it down and then I used the tool mod to raise it up. Here I'm making sure it goes into the ceiling and it isn't hanging slightly below the ceiling line. And one more window in the kitchen because I just thought that space needed a window, both for the outside and inside. And I changed the appliance colors to white, again, to match the windows, the trim, etc., etc. Here is, I pulled out some bags of food and I was looking at these treats that came from cats and dogs, and there's a distinct dog bone on the front of the jars that I was thrown off by. I didn't want it to look like dog treats. I wanted it to look like cat treats. Later on, I do pull them back out and I just size them down a little bit and I make them work. And here's a little automatic vacuum, little robot vacuum, because if you have cats in your house, maybe you want an automatic vacuum. I know I would love one in real life, with my 2 cats and my kids dropping crumbs and hair everywhere. So I'm just living out my dream in The Sims. Here's some cat bowls. I used the little tree stump ones from my first pet stuff. I thought they were really cute. I just did it in different wood tones, like they were matching since they're outdoor bowls. It's my assumption. And then I wanted to change up the lighting out here on the patio area, so I used these little flower sconces. I think those are also base game. Those are really pretty. And one more of the regular patio lights out here. And here I am checking the lighting, making sure it all looks nice. And I think it's working out really well. So just getting rid of the saucer lights and throwing in some more decorative lights. That one is from high school years, and I was surprised by it because I haven't seen that one yet. I must not have looked closely enough at the drop-down lights, but I think it's really pretty. I do end up putting a saucer into that light as well because it just wasn't bright enough for my liking. Here's those treats I'm pulling out. I just sized them down. I thought that was better because then you can't really tell. You can't really see the bone shape, the dog bone shape on the front of that jar. And kitty treats are always smaller. There's a little pitcher I assumed for filling up any water bowls outside, and some cooking utensils. And here's a little bouquet that I pull out, and I actually put up a shelf on the wall specifically for that bouquet. There it is. Maybe those are fake flowers and she put them up there for show, but she knew if they were real, the cats would eat them. So that's why she went that route. And over here we are getting the entryway together. And I think that those pillows are a nice spot for Kitty to hang out. I was trying to put a cat tree here, but they're just all way too big. And they don't work well sized down because the cat just floats when he jumps up top. So here's those cat food bags that are giving me a heck of a time placing, but I eventually just used the 9 key, raise them up, and then I just checked to make sure they also were not floating right about here. And then we get back to decorating. Did I clutter up the shelves first? I think yes. I had the idea to clutter up the shelves first. I also pulled out this little coin jar that I was like, okay, I'm going to put that somewhere. I found a lot of things that I would just randomly pull out here and there and set aside to use later. There's one little cat statue and another cat statue, and then I think I pulled out a plant. Oh, well, obviously this hanging plant from the Bloomin' Rooms kit. Had to throw that over in the corner. That's hands down my favorite plant in the whole game. And so there's one plant, and I think that other plant is actually a light. It lights up. Maybe I'm thinking of the different one, but I thought it looked really cute. And here's me replacing the entryway light with that jar. I don't know if I keep that jar or if I replace it later, because it did hang a little low when your sim walked in. I think I may have kept it. I guess we'll see. And I haven't even touched the bathroom yet, so we'll get to that shortly. And here's some more wall sconces to bring in some more light. Those are also from, oh no, those are from the Growing Together pack. I don't know if I've used anything from that pack yet for those. No, probably not. I really like those lights. They took a second to grow on me. I didn't like them at first, but now I do. And we have to get umbrella rack and a coat rack. The hanging one did not work, so I went with my old reliable choice right there, the white one. I think I have to end up lowering that down. I'm not 100% sure if that's floating or not. I did play test this house, but it was a couple days ago now as I'm recording this, so I'm a little unsure of if I actually checked to make sure that wasn't floating. Hopefully not, because I believe it's already up on the gallery. By the way, my gallery ID is also Miss Chris Builds, same as the channel, and I also have an Instagram, and I'm on quite a few Facebook groups for Sims. So if you check me out on Facebook, or if you found me on Facebook, hi, thanks for checking me out. Here's the bathroom though, we're finally getting to that, and I did use the plunger from the bathroom clutter kit, and the sink and toilet are both from Tiny Living kit. Here I had to delete a wall so that I could get this toilet paper to place. That's also from the bathroom clutter kit, and then I had to redo the siding outside. And it's a good thing I did, because I realized that my roof was overhanging a little too far. So yay for happy little mistakes, because that's how we figured out that I needed to fix it. Also, that it needed a window right there. So, all good things. All good things. Back to the bathroom though. I was playing around with that window for a while. Didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I could not... I know it took me a while to figure out the wallpaper, but eventually I did. And here is the shower. I used the shower from Snowy Escape. I figure she's a single sim and she just lives with her cats, so she doesn't need an enclosed shower or a bathtub to give anybody else a bath. So just a little standing shower with a drain on the floor was fine. And the tile is from Growing Together. The door is Strangerville. I love those little crystal knobs. I just think they're very realistic. I have some in my house, so I identify with those very much. And I think I went with my trusty ceiling light here. Yep, the cylindrical ceiling light from Base Game. I love that. I don't know why. It's perfect. And here's a little shower caddy, and of course it has cat ears, and I had to use it. And I put up some shelves in the bathroom, and my idea was to clutter them up with other bathroom things. But first, we head to the backyard, because I had a stroke of inspiration, and I just had to throw some things in here. So here's the back patio table, and I picked some chairs. I believe the chairs are base game, but I think the table is from the Perfect Patio stuff pack. I think. Don't quote me on it. And of course the dine out candle in the middle of the table. Here's the hose to hang on the side of the building. That is also base game. And the planters are also base game. They are an unlockable item, but I have my unlocks on, or my unlocks turned off so that I can access those. Some gardening tools scattered about, and in those planters there's actually all the different kinds of catnips. I think there's a nuzzle nip, nap nip, regular catnip. I forget what the other one is. They're all the nice ones, and none of the ones that make them angry. You know, cats get angry enough on their own. They don't need help. So here is a little bit more terrain paint. And pretty soon we are going to be getting to screenshots. I don't know, I guess I didn't finish showing the rest of the bathroom. It was pretty standard. I just put up a toothbrush and some toothpaste. And I think the last thing I added here was an outdoor rug and also a little roof decoration. So thank you guys for checking it out, and be sure to check out lilsimsie's stream where she views a couple homes and renovations of her shell. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.